No, but I did want to get into this, though. We got the sound, right, from Dan Campbell?
We do.
Because I'm curious to hear this, because we've seen this matriculate. We've seen Malcolm Rodriguez take a step back in terms of snaps as a linebacker, be involved with special teams, and all of a sudden we see him pop up at the fullback spot. All of a sudden we see him pop up and catch a pass. Dan Campbell spoke on it. What did Dan have to say about it?
Step in and fill that role.
Well, number one, they've all played for us. Jack's taken a number of reps, as Barnes. Germs played in this league. Rodrigo started for us most of the year last year. So I kind of mentioned this before. If there's an area where we have a significant amount of depth, it's in that room. So we have a ton of confidence. Anytime you lose a player like Alex, if that's the case, it's not easy, but we do feel good about that room, man. We think we're going to ask them to do what they do best, and I think they're going to do a good job for us this week.
Just staying with that, what do you do with Malcolm? Just, he's played a lot of offense, obviously. Does he exclusively work on defense just because of the numbers are this week, or how do you?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to take on a bigger load. He plays a little bit on defense, and we're going to need him more on offense too. So we're going to stretch him out here a little bit, but he can handle it. He's got hands too. You saw that. He can flip his hips. He's tough. He's got leverage. He's smart. So it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive.
Now, I'm going to give Spencer Raxter credit, D-Mac, for all of that. Spencer Raxter was the one that discovered Malcolm Rodriguez. It wasn't Brad Holmes. It wasn't the Lions scouting department. It was one man and one man only. It was Spencer Raxter.
The heavyweights did our part. Easy. We saw it. We saw the greatness. We were first on the train.
How bricked up are you listening to that?
Oh, it makes me so happy. I got hype when he made that catch last week.
Flipped his hips on the backfield, looked like a fullback.
He's a good player, man. He's a good player. He's a former safety. He's a former quarterback, so he can do a lot of different things. I'm just excited to see him getting run because he deserves it. He's a ball player. Spencer
Raxter's poll, who is the real people's champion in Detroit? Tom Kennedy right now with 69% of the vote, leading
Nice.
Donnie Kelly, baby, at 21%. I saw a lot of talk about this. Brent says Brandon Inge had incredible defense and he hit 27 home runs one year. Yeah, but Brent, that was all undone when he went in the home run derby and didn't hit a home run.
Yeah.
That's the point of being in the home run derby. So sorry about it.
You don't come back.
But D-Mac, here's the overriding point, and people are going to laugh at this when I talk about Malcolm Rodriguez. So, this would be a Sam Flannel laughing point, I think, and it goes to show.
Because first of all, Malcolm Rodriguez isn't about any stat. It's about intangibles. It's about versatility. It's about the number one thing. It's about intelligence and being able to play all over that field, offense and defense, special teams.
This isn't high school, bro.
He's a Swiss Army knife for this team. That's where his value is. Now, you don't want him to be your starting guy, and you don't want him to have to bear whatever brunt at whatever position, but here, there, doing this, picking up a block here, running the backfield, running out for fullback, filling in as linebacker to whatever else. He is a special guy. He's made himself, like I said, he's a Swiss Army knife for this team. And the head coach is telling you that that's how they see him. So it's his versatility. To me, number one, right, it's his intelligence and his football IQ. That's the first thing that jumps off the board when they're talking about it. Obviously, he's tough. We know he's undersized, but if you use that to your advantage, just like other teams use different speed guys, offensive guys to their advantage, it can work out. It's not a long-term a solution for champ, but the long-term solution is Malcolm Rodriguez being able to fill in all over your roster.
Read those stats to me, Daddy.
Cliff Dennis.
That's oh my gosh. Whoa, that one. I want to flag that one.
Can you run that again, please? Please.
Read those stats to me, Daddy.
And you wonder why we never missed that show.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll like this one, Spenny. Cliff Denna says he needs to be like what Jabril Peppers was to Michigan. You mean like not in the top 30 of any stat, but be a finalist for the Heisman? That Jabril Peppers? No, I get what you're saying. I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm being a hater, I guess you could say.
Tone.
No,
Tone.
Tone, D-Mac, get your tone. No, but I bring this up, and it's a great pull by Spenny, and it's a great topic by Spenny, because I want people to understand this. Just yet another example of why the Lions are good now, and they weren't before. A 6th-round pick that was an undersized linebacker that started. I mean, I think this there's an element of truth to this, D-Mac, that started last year as kind of undersized, maybe under speed, but started because he had to start on this team. And as we see the evolution of this team, we see the evolution of him as a player and his value as well. What 6th-round pick in the league is doing this? I can't think of one off the top of my head.
And then it gets you to go back and to think about building this team where, we bring up Amon-Ra in the 4th round, and you're talking about 6th round. So you're talking about getting talent out there and using it. I think that's exactly what it is. Somebody in the chat said use a baseball term, utility player. That's exactly what it is. But how valuable is that, right? That is so invaluable, especially as you're building. You're building your team to be able to plug and play. Do you agree the fact that it's not, he's not a permanent solution, but the fact of the way that if you use him properly, he can benefit you throughout this organization.
The NFL.
You understand this is a guy that can play offense if you need him, defense if you need him, special teams if you need him. How many guys around this league, I'm sure there's a lot of guys with the ability to do it, but never put in that position.
Right. I've never seen such versatility. And you get guys like late round picks play a lot of positions, but I've never seen a 6th-round pick that contributes in a multifaceted way like Rodrigo does on a team that is 8-3, that is a lock to win their division, that is in a battle for playoff seeding in the NFC. Never seen it before, man, especially, too, because of the nature of the timing with Anzalone going down. And here's where, like the people like Sam Flannel and the Brandon Katz of the world, here's where the disconnect happens. In the NFL, what are we in, week 11?
Yes.
Week 12. Week 12.
13.
Right? 13, whatever it is, okay? 13. At this time of the season in the NFL, you're past absolutes, and you're past linear.
Yep.
You are surviving right now. You are figuring it out
and
as you go.
And mostly you're surviving. Why your team's surviving, Neil? Because what is availability throughout the league? They have to figure it out. Whether we talked about it yesterday, quarterbacks going down, top players going down, figuring it out. I will always go back to Dan Campbell a few years ago saying we have to prepare like every starter is going to go down. Malcolm Rodriguez is a prime example of the organization preparing for something to happen, and it happened to Anzalone. So that's the one thing. Do you trust in the fact that Malcolm, no matter what it is, I think that we all trust in the fact that we know what we're going to get. The effort, right? He's going to be one of the smarter guys out there. It's just the one thing is being undersized. You don't want to put him in a bad situation.
No doubt.
Right? So it's by committee. It absolutely is. But his value to a winning team, does every good team have the sort of Swiss Army knife guy? And usually it's that receiver or that third down back that returns punts or kicks or whatever like this that makes a big run or does something special.
Always. Look at the Chiefs last year. The whole backfield were rookies.
Your great guys got to be your great guys. But it's that who's going to step up? Who's going to be that receiver? Who's going to break that tackle, return that kick, that extra 30 yards, put you in field goal position?
Yeah. Who's the guy with the mid-career that's going to step up and score maybe the most memorable goal in the history of a franchise? Who's it going to be, D-Mac?
I don't know.